Lines. A president works for all Americans, not just for some. Obama responds on TV to Romney describing many Americans as victims in a secretly filmed video. Striking South African workers to get pay rises after reaching a deal with Lonmin. The unrest started in August, turned deadly and spread to other mines. And Aung San Suu Kyi begins a 2-week trip to the US with a call for sanctions against Burma to be eased further. And now it's time for the press review with Aurore Dupuis. Hello, Aurore.
Hi,
We're going to take us through the French newspapers, starting off with a hot topic today, the European Fiscal Treaty.
Yes, indeed. Let's take a look at the Christian newspaper La Croix, and French ministers are indeed meeting up today to decide on whether to write the Golden Rule into the constitution, meaning that it would force debt-ridden countries in the EU to keep balanced budgets at all costs. But here in France, this has caused a huge controversy because the ruling left-wing coalition is divided over this. Let's take a look at an article in Libération. It says that the far left and the Green Party say that the bill is synonym to further austerity measures, because indeed it would mean that France, if it wants to keep its finances in the green, France might have to make huge public cuts, including on health and including on social projects, which is indeed worrying for the ruling coalition.
Now, the left-leaning newspaper L'Humanité is also talking about this today, and it's been quite negative.
Yeah, indeed. Let's take a look at the front page there. Why we are saying non to a fiscal pact. It's so unpopular that the president, François Hollande, his party might have to get the votes from the opposition, the right wing, to pass this controversial bill. And that is set to go through Parliament in early October. And if it doesn't go through, well, right-wing politicians that fear that, I quote, the Golden Rule could turn into, I quote, a flabby rule.
Now we're going to take a look at L'Humanité's editorial on this.
Yes, rich people have found a country where they could migrate to, according to L'Humanité. L'Humanité says that this treaty would have an impact on poor people, but on the other hand, the rich people are running off with their own cash. For example, Bernard Arnault, he's France's richest man. He's the boss of Louis Vuitton, for example, and other luxurious brands, and he's asked to change nationality, allegedly to avoid paying taxes in France. Now, according to L'Humanité, I quote, "Rich people moan about not being loved in France. They should man up, face their responsibilities, and share their wealth."
Okay, now we're going to talk about Manuel Valls. He's getting a lot of negative coverage today in the French press, the Interior Minister.
He is indeed. Let's take a look at the front page there. Libération says that he is giving in. It reveals that the French Interior Minister will trash yet another one of François Hollande's campaign promises. He's already said that he was against the idea of giving foreigners the right to vote in local elections. Well, now he's saying that he's against plans to oblige police officers to give a receipt to the people that they ID randomly in the streets. Now, that measure was aimed at making sure that French authorities weren't targeting specific groups like ethnic minorities, for example. But of course, police trade unions were against this measure. And at first, well, Valls said that he'd think about it, and then he decided it was not applicable. And according to Libération, well, his behaviour is indeed appalling. What will happen to Hollande's other promises, wonders the paper? Will Valls also chuck them out the window?
And Le Parisien's got a cartoon that sums up the situation pretty well.
Yes, let's take a look at the cartoon. In Le Parisien, you can see the Interior Minister, Manuel Valls, in a police car, tooting around in the street, and French President François Hollande is blocking out the noise, and he's saying, oh, he's freestyling yet again. And the newspaper is wondering, what is Valls playing at? He's only been in office for 4 months, and he's already causing a stir, much to the opposition's satisfaction.
Now, France is one of the many countries where there have been protests against an anti-Islam film, and Le Figaro says that there could be more.
Yes, let's take a look at the front page of Libération. It says that as well as last week, there's going to be more protests this weekend on Saturday, and it fears that there could be thousands on Saturday. Most of them are youths, according to the paper, lost souls who joined the movement just for the sake of it and have never even seen the film. That's according to the newspaper, and it's calling on the government to ban those demonstrations.
All right, thank you very much, Aurore, for taking us through the French newspapers. Now, of course, you can go to our website for all the latest